Did you guys watch the episode last night from Eight at the Table?
Yes, I did.
It was a little crazy, you
If
know.
you ain't paying for the trip, baby, if your girl gotta get flown out and you ain't paying for the trip, baby, you ain't doing what she wants, okay? If you, I don't give a damn. I don't give my hat. Hold up.
Jada was repping, you know, like she went for SO. You know what I'm saying? But you know, SO has some points. But at the same time, I do feel like, yeah, he wasn't right all the way. And Rico, we need to shut him down.
No, I like what Rico was saying. I think he had a lot of valid points.
He had valid points, but come on, he always coming for women.
No, I don't think he comes for women. I think both SO and Rico came with a lot of good valid points. Now, it's going to be controversial. Some people are going to agree, some people aren't, but I think they both made a lot of valid points.
No, I think they made valid points, but at the same time.
But before we continue, let's talk about what was the point that SO made, right? Okay. So we were sitting there and we're all watching the episode, right? And we're all enjoying it. Eight at the Table Nation, hey.
Hey, Eight at the Table Nation.
So both, you had a back and forth between essentially, which I love the Jada, SO, Rico triangle that happens, right?
Right.
So essentially, SO came to the point that women have a shelf life.
The difference with men, why men can't stick it out or cannot stick it out, because women have a shelf life.
So let's talk about, what does that mean when he said women have a shelf life? And what does that mean when it comes to age?
Well, I kind of agree with there is a shelf life. Okay. So there is. So I think that after a certain age, it's harder for you to get a partner, get married, do certain things that maybe it would be easier for you to do and get if you are younger. So like, I get all that and I completely agree with him. But at the same time, it's like, now I'm 39 right now. So it's like,
is it over for you?
Am I done? Did I reach that?
But,
you know
what does the shelf life mean? Like, I feel like the only issue I have with the shelf life debate is that, like, it means that every single woman, the end game is marriage, right? And that's not necessarily the case. Not every woman wants to get married. Not every woman wants children, right?
What facts do we have?
We have real life facts. That's like, it's known that not every single woman wants children, and that's completely okay. So when we say women have a shelf life, what are we talking about? If a woman's end game is to get married and she's in the club joking around, playing, having a good time, yeah, I agree. If your end game is to get married, you can't be in the club at 37 with 23-year-olds. Right. But like, if your whole end game is to have a good time, you don't want children, you don't want to get married, you're about the good life, then okay.
But do you really think these women don't want to have kids, don't want to get married, they just want to live their best life?
Some people don't.
Some people don't.
BTW, some women shouldn't have children. Unpopular opinion. And some people have children for the wrong reason. They want to like keep the relationship going, or I want someone to give me unconditional love. Like, no, that's not why you have children. So some people shouldn't have children.
I kind of agree with that.
Right?
And I think some people shouldn't get married. And let's be honest, it's like, okay, I've been there, I've done that, I've been married. I'm at a point in my life where I don't know if I want to get married. Like, I don't know if that's my end goal. And like just having conversations with some people, like I realized that everyone's idea of happiness is not the same. Okay? So
speak on it.
Your happiness may not be a marriage. Your happiness may be an open relationship. Your happiness may be dealing with, I don't know, a poly, right? That's the new thing now.
The new thing now, poly.
No, it's always been around.
It's always been around, right?
Not having kids or whatever it may be. So everyone's idea of happiness is completely different. So marriage is not necessarily everyone's end game.
So I think what happens is a lot of these women have not had the opportunity to be married. So they're like, I think sometimes people look at marriage as I've made it. And really marriage is the beginning. And that's essentially what happens is like, we're like, what's the end game? What's the end game? The end game is marriage. No, that's actually the beginning. I see that all the time where women talk about like, oh, what's the end game? What's the end game? And the end game is like, I gotta get married. Like, it really isn't. Like, dude, you're just really starting because that's when you begin. So you've already been married. So you experienced it. So for you, you're like, okay, I've experienced marriage. I'm good on that end, right? So I'm good because I know what it is. But what do we say to the girls who've never been married? And for them, to them is like the end game is like, I gotta get married.
I'm saying I don't think we should say anything. It's like, it's your choice in life. I don't think I got married for the right reasons. I think that I got married for like crazy. I just thought it was like, oh, let me just try this. Maybe this is what I need in life to get married. And I don't think that that is what everyone needs. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten married at that point in my life. And maybe if I had made a decision now to get married, I would have been like in a totally different type of relationship and I would have been happier. And that would have been like my thing. So yeah, I don't think that everyone should get married. I don't think that, you know, that's what everyone needs at the end of it. It's like, maybe you don't need to get married. Maybe you need to be in a partnership. Maybe you need to just have someone that, you know, that you want to just be with and have like that togetherness with. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think marriage is not for everybody.
So while we're talking about shelf life, Jada made a valid point, maybe valid, I don't know, because I actually don't even agree with it. She said, this is why women look for security.
A female is actually sacrificing more because we don't get our looks back, our tits start sagging, our ass starts getting flat. We ain't got time to be playing with y'all like that.
So stop playing.
No, marry me or let me keep it moving because at the end of the day, I can't keep playing these games like y'all can keep playing these games.
Yeah, but you ain't...
Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's a sacrifice as well. Give me my insurance.
Okay,
because
so what I was saying is Jada made a valid point, although I personally maybe don't agree with it. She said, SO said women have a shelf life. And so Jada was like, yeah, exactly. That's why you have to give women security, right? And so the exchange was essentially, well, I want to go, I have my beauty, I have my body, I'm giving it to you to a certain extent. You have to make sure you exchange. If I'm giving you my youth and my life, you have to give me security to make sure that when I'm 38, 39, I'm not going to have the same kind of vibe, body as a 22-year-old, right?
Right.
So you have to give me that security. And to me, I'm
what does security, what does that mean?
I think that she meant like financial. I just think she meant security, period, like financially support her in order for her to be like, yeah, I don't need to be out here in the clubs. So my thing is...
But what does that have to do with, okay, her beauty, her body...
Her youth?
Her youth. Like security as in meaning what? Like, oh, I need to get my body done.
No,
like,
she's saying I'm exchanging my youth for you. So I'm young, I'm beautiful, right? Okay.
Right.
Let's say I'm 25 years old.
Okay.
And I'm a model and I'm getting flown here, I'm flowing there, and I'm doing shots and everything, and I meet the right guy or the guy, right? In order for me to stop doing that, you need to give me a 20-year plan where it's like, I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing, but in exchange, you're giving me security where I know that I'm good. Like my lifestyle, what I want. You're going to exchange that and I'm gonna be good. That's essentially what she's saying. Okay. Because he's like, you do have a shelf life, right? And everybody can acknowledge that. So if I'm giving up something for you, the exchange is you giving me security.
Security, okay.
But is that fair?
No, because you should secure your bag by yourself.
Big facts.
So that's just what I think. It's like, okay, if I have my life all planned out and set up, why do I need a man to fly me out and do this? Number one, you shouldn't need, if you're a model or whatever it is, you shouldn't need someone else to fly you out for anything.
Exactly.
Because like they said in the episode, somebody doesn't expect, they expect something. You get flown out, you get there, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? Yeah, because they were saying, oh, they're not doing nothing.
No,
you're doing something.
You're doing something.
You're getting flown out.
You're entertaining in some way, shape, or form.
Right. He's not getting you flown out just to hang out, just to look at your good body.
You want your careers to involve you being flown out by men, being looked at as in a sexual, seductive way by the masses, and this is what y'all want.
So you're flying me out, and let's say we get married. Should I expect my husband to fly me out everywhere? Like at this point, we're in a partnership.
Right.
So that is different. It depends what type of relationship you have in order to see what type of expectations you're going to have from that relationship. So I don't think that, I think that you should secure your own bag before you should expect it from someone else, a man or whoever it is. And I just think that once you are in that type of relationship, it should be a partnership.
It's a partnership. It's not like, okay, I'm not going to be doing nothing. Okay, you got to take care of me now. No, it's a partnership.
But let's be honest, though. A lot of women, that's what they want.
Right.
They want someone that takes care of them financially, and you know, and we said this before, right? We want someone to just take care of them in every way. They want to get flown out. They want to go on vacations. They want to go everywhere with this guy's money or whoever, women, guy, because guys do that too. And Rico said this, right? Rico said he wants somebody to take care of him too.
I ain't never hear Rico say that.
He has said that. He has said that.
No.
He has said that.
No, Rico probably said emotionally take care of him.
No. Rico has said he wants a woman that has her own bag, that's just going to be
that
like
has
that.
her own bag, but not just to take care of him.
Okay, but maybe not necessarily take care of him.
I think Rico is like, what are you bringing to the table?
I pay every bill in this house, right? And I fix everything in this house because I'm an electrician. What are you bringing to the table as a woman? What do you realistically do other than have sex?
To me, I feel like he's talking more about like, what are you bringing to the table?
Right.
Right. You have to bring more than just your body and your face. Like and I think for him, he's like, there's 30,000
of you. Exactly.
Like I could bag any of you that got a pretty face and a nice body. That's lightweight. Like I'm not worried about that. Besides that, what are you bringing to the table? Like for me, he's not saying like take care of me, but he's saying like if we're doing this as a partnership.
Right.
Like when it comes to him.
That I agree with. A partnership I agree with.
Des made a point, and her point was this.
I'm guarded. I feel like I am guarded, but it's not because of personal experiences. It's because of things I've seen in other relationships. Like people like, you know, I've experienced being the side bitch before and getting more than even the main girl was getting, and him being more honest with me, and like, you know, just having people in my messages with a girlfriend all on their page.
She said, I've basically watched everybody. I learned by watching others, right? And her thing was like, I didn't experience this myself, but from watching other people's relationship, my homegirls, everybody, it seems like you can't trust a man. Like she doesn't have an example of a healthy relationship, right? So she's like, for me, I go into relationships with a temporary mentality because every relationship I see around me, there's like no trust, there's no foundation. My girls are hurting, like side chicks are being treated better. Like I would do the same too. Like if I have no healthy relationships, right, around me, I would be like, why would I want to get into a relationship? Nobody around me has a healthy relationship. So to you, it's a fantasy. So I would have the temporary mentality too.
I'm saying you're 24 years old.
It's traumatizing.
Des is 24. I don't think that she should look at other people's relationship to give her validation on how her relationship should be.
Right.
Because if you haven't been in a relationship to really go through what these people are going through, you can't say anything. But because you haven't experienced it. They have.
I got you. I 100% agree with you. But I think the thing for her is that stood out to me is that she's like, she gave that example. She said, like, I'm watching all these relationships around me and it's traumatizing. She said specifically it's traumatizing. And I think that's the problem she struggles with is that she's seeing these unhealthy relationships and she's like, why would I put myself through this trauma? And that she's not trying to even put herself out there.
But maybe it's the people she's hanging out with. Maybe
so let's just be honest though. Don't we mimic relationships that we are around? Like we constantly mimic relationships.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
If I see my mother in a toxic relationship for her whole entire life, that is what I am going to be attracted to. That's what I'm going to be like pushed. Like so that's what the issue is when it comes to that. Like I understand her. Okay. Yes, you've been the side chick.
Right.
According to you, you've been treated better than the wife, which we don't really know because there have been plenty of relationships where the wife still treated good and she like, go ahead and do you. Because we hear Esso saying how that is a thing. So now we got to go into what Esso was saying about, men
Sex is all they have?
That's what they have. All they have is the cheating, right? So we get to be flown out, we get the gifts, we get the bags, we get this, we get that.
Right.
But then all that men get is to be able to have that sneaky link here and there where they can do whatever, which I don't really.
By the way, who are these people?
I want to know who these people are because I want to know.
Like, who are these people? Like, okay. I feel like it's such a small percentage of a population. Like the rest of the world is existing. Like not, if it's 1% being flown out doing that, blah, 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 blah. It's a specific industry. It's a small percentage.
Yes.
The rest of the world who are in these relationships and these situations and these whatever, like, is sex still what you got?
Nah, let's be honest. It's not a small percentage of girls that's being flown out.
It's a small percentage.
It's a small percentage.
No. These girls are being flown out more than you know.
1%.
Okay? It could be,
It's not that,
They are. And you don't think they are because you're in like a different,
It's a small percentage.
No, like I get it, but it's a small percentage. Like when we think about 1% of the population of those who have true wealth, like, because we know the names, we think like it's not a small percentage, but it's a small percentage.
Right.
So even if, let's just say, and I'm being generous with this number, let's say 3,000 girls are being flown out. That's still a very small percentage.
Right.
You think it's not a small percentage, but it's a very small percentage.
And they're making it seem like
my whole thing is that when we make it like the narrative,
like, oh my God,
and we make it the norm, it's actually not the norm.
It's not the norm. I don't think it's the norm.
No, I know. And it's a very small percentage of women who are actually being flown out. So for the rest of, let's just say, even if it was 10%, and it's not, even if it was, what about the 90 other percentage? Like, what do you mean sex is what you got? So you're like, okay, ladies, as per Esso.
That's the only thing we get to do. Everything else, you don't get. As a man, we don't get to do nothing else. We don't get nothing. You don't get no fucking.
So why not porn stars?
You barely get respect. Okay, you don't get no attention.
A man is more respected in this world than a woman is. What is he talking about?
I'm talking about from a woman. I'm talking about from another woman. Okay, women don't respect men. That's what I'm talking about.
You're getting the bags. You're getting flown out. You're getting the dinners. What we get is the sex. Okay, that's cool. Less than 10%. What about the other 90% of men? What do they get to put on the pedestal?
Women.
No, men.
Of men, okay.
Because he's like, that's what we get. You get the perks. What?
Well, Marie, if 1% of women are getting flown out and getting all the gifts, what's the other 99% of women getting? Because we might not even be getting the sex. It may not be that good. I'm just saying. So it's like, what are we getting?
Speak on it, Lonnie.
We might not be getting nothing. We just here struggling. Shit, it's hard. It's hard out here. It's hard.
So that's what I'm saying.
And that might be a reality. Most men do cheat, but why? Because you let them. Because if you home waiting with if you there at night, it's like, I'm saying, it's like society. It's like, okay, I just feel like if you're able to cheat, so am I. That's just what it is. It's not, I don't believe that there's a double standard when it comes to that. So it's like,
an eye for an eye.
yeah, it's an eye for an eye. So it's like, you know, I do believe that most men cheat because they have been given the green light.
The only reason we tolerate men cheating is because it's been done so long. It's like a tradition for y'all. It's like
we expect it.
Y'all are born and then you're like, listen, by the way, you get to stick it. You know, like it's not. That's what I feel like. Men are known to cheat.
Do you do the shout out to Aaron the Renegade? Do you believe in the tit for tat? Like if you cheat, that means I cheat.
I cheat.
No, because if I cheat, you're gonna be hurt. and you see the meme when you be like, you cheat on me, I'll be like, damn, he cheated on me with that girl? Oh, I'm gonna be mad because she might be cute. She look good. But when I cheat on you, I'm gonna make sure I cheat on you.
With what?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm gonna be hurt.
How you gonna be hurt?
It's gonna be hurt. It's gonna be hurt. You know, I'm gonna put my business out there, but you know, I'm telling you, I got personal experience.
What you got?
He's still crying. He's still crying.
He's still crying?
10 years later.
He's still crying?
He's still crying.
He didn't commit suicide.
Not yet.
God forbid.
What I got from what Crystal was saying is he sees who she's around.
It's been very complicated with my relationships based off of like, because I model and sometimes I find myself in like these different industries or these different environments where the guy that I'm with, he thinks I think like these girls. He thinks I want to move like these girls. I want to be a city girl and I want to get my body done. And you know,
maybe like Rico or Alan or Esso, like.
Don't get too active.
Not Alan.
Not Alan. You know, the producer. Come on now.
Not the Alan.
Like you see, she's working with a good-looking producer. The cast members, like, you know what I'm saying?
As per
like, he would be.
Alan's gonna say cut.
He would. I mean, he would. I'm sure he feel a little insecure. Like,
I don't think he's insecure. I don't think she said his insecurities so much by the people she's around. I think he said his insecurities are more of like the type of industry that she is. And the fact that she might blow up in her career later on. So what I feel is like,
Look at the camera.
I think right now, I think what the situation is that I think a lot of guys feel like women are really doing their thing, right? So a lot of women are making more money, they have better careers, they're doing their thing, they're getting the bag, right? So it's like, okay, so now do I stick around? Now, and I think that this is where the insecurities come in for both of them, because I think Crystal is insecure on the type of relationship. Okay. So I feel like she feels like, okay, is he with me because of the possibility that I'm gonna get the bag? Or
it's just, sometimes you have to know when to draw the line or when to cut off the relationship, because sometimes people like just want to be there to wait until this big moment happens for you, or to wait until like, I don't know, just so they can be on the end with you, right? So I don't know if it's like they believe in me and they want to stay, or they
or
just...
is he with me because he really loves me? And it's hard because do you really know?
Okay, I didn't get any of that from Crystal's point. I don't think like she's been in a true relationship. I think she's been, and she said it herself. She kept calling them situationships. Right. When you've been in a relationship, you call it a relationship.
But she said that
she keeps saying, she kept saying, so I've been in situationships, right?
No, she says that she felt like for her, a relationship, let's say we start dating, once we are together in that sense, it's like she feels like it's marriage. Like, oh, we are together.
I mean, I feel like I find myself more in situationships, and it's very like conflicting for me, because sometimes it will be a relationship, but in my head it's a situationship, or like I'm trying to build this relationship, but I'm perceiving it as something else. They're taking it as something else, so it can get very conflicted for me. So like, there's men that I've been with where it's like, yo, I do see myself with you, and I let them know. And sometimes maybe I like push marriage before I even push a relationship, because I feel like I'm the married type. It's like we either like we're together, we're married. Like,
what does marriage look like to her, by the way?
I don't know what marriage looks like to her, but it's like she says that she feels like she ends up in situationships.
Right.
So And the thing is, I think it comes, and maybe you didn't get that, but that's what I got.
But how did she end up in these situations?
We don't know. We don't know.
Right. Like when you've been in relationships, especially as you get older, you acknowledge them as relationships. When you've been in situationships, you acknowledge them as situationships.
Right.
Like if she's saying like, oh, I've been in this situation and this one, that's fine. I don't think that necessarily speaks that she's been in a true committed relationship. Like I don't know her partners and who she's been with, and I don't know what that looks like, but I think she's at the stage in her life where her focus is her career. Which is fine. I think if you get in a situation, you get in a relationship, you get in whatever, you can acknowledge like right now my focus is my career, and there's nothing wrong with that.
If you're letting your girl be a stripper and she needs that money, I'm sorry, but if you can't do anything to change the lifestyle that she wants, then shut up about it.
Let's be realistic. Like we were talking about the whole who makes more money. I think that is an issue in relationships. And I think that's why even though relationships are great or could be great, that is like one of the reasons why a lot of them are not successful. Because we have, and I think that this was one of the prior episodes where they said date up to where you can afford, right?
In your lane?
In your lane. Date in your lane, right? So it's like, if you cannot afford to keep up with the lifestyle that I have, we should not be dating. Or if I am not willing to lower my standards to live up to your lifestyle, then we should not be dating. Because what's going to happen is eventually I'm going to get tired that we're not able to go to the restaurants that I've been so accustomed to going to. And I'm going to find someone that's going to be able to take me there. Or I'm going to find somebody that said, yeah, I haven't seen you at such and such place in a while.
But my question is this real quick. Real quick. Let me do the math real quick. So why are you accustomed to it? Are you accustomed because that's you provide that life for yourself, or you have just been dating a caliber of men
that provide that lifestyle.
That provide that. So if you are like a person who date a caliber of men, specifically, I boom, 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 cool. So you're used to this restaurant, being flown out, you're used to all that, right? So then you meet some guy, you don't know his status, and he can't keep up with it. Or do you provide that lifestyle for yourself?
You
because
working,
that's different.
You making that money. Yes,
See,
that's
like
different.
Like
that's two
with
different things.
or without you, I'm still going to the restaurant, right? So what I'm saying is like, there's two types of women. With or without you, I go to the restaurant, so that's fine.
Out,
no, I'm not talking about you.
No, I know.
So what I'm saying is like,
so
what I'm saying is it that you specifically date a caliber of men that provide you a specific lifestyle, or do you provide that lifestyle for yourself? And those are two different women.
But I think that is the choice, though, at that point, because if you are used to dating a certain caliber, I am sure that you have a certain set of like steps that you take in order to realize that this man either is within your caliber or is not within your caliber.
Then you should know who to date. You got to date people.
But if you make a choice, so if you make a choice to date down, exactly, that is your choice. So you shouldn't have a problem. So
you should be
That's a conscious decision.
Okay, it's a conscious decision, but it's different that if I have provided this lifestyle for myself, right, I should be able to find someone that is able, like if this is what I want. Now, if I'm okay with it, then that's a different thing.
If you're, like Alan said, you're providing this and you're making X amount of money, what does that have to do with you being flown out? Like, what does one thing have to do with the other? So to circle back to what Alan was saying in terms of what Jada was saying is that, like, okay, so you're a person, you're used to a certain lifestyle, but however, what does that have to do with being flown out?
If you have certain expectations and your partner cannot give you or provide you with those then you need to move on, find somebody else.
You need to find that caliber of men that provide that lifestyle for you. Because if you meet somebody, okay,
you guys are losing the grip right now.
They're going into no, if you meet somebody that's not the level of people who you used to date, why are you dating that person?
Big facts. Can we speak on it?
Like, why are you dating that person? You shouldn't be even dating that person if that's what you used to. That's what you like.
That's what I don't get.
You need to find that caliber of
Can we find out? Can we talk about at what point do you realize that maybe those men that have been flying you out and doing these things for you are not for you?
Or maybe you reach a shelf life.
Exactly. When you reach that shelf life. Exactly. When you reach that shelf life.
That was good.
You've been replaced by a newer model.
Exactly.
A new comes out though, right?
Right. Every year a new model comes out.
This is what Rico said.
There's two types of men, right, that spend money on women, right, for temporary relationships. We're going to stick with the topic. And those two type of men that spend money on women.
One uses Viagra.
One uses Viagra, yep. And the other one is buying a bunch of you. So that's why. It's like, okay, you know what? I'll pay for her, and her, whatever. I got 4 of them. I'm paying to have 4 females.
I received that.
I don't really, I don't care.
I received that. Do I give a fuck? No.
All right, so let's go back to what Rico had said. There's 2 types of men. The one that an older guy but uses Viagra,
right?
Or the one he's a younger guy but he has multiple.
You're one of many.
You're one of many.
Right.
So how do you guys feel about that?
Does he use
Those
Viagra?
are your only 2 options?
Only women?
My only 2 options out here? Damn, it's hard out here, bro.
It's hard out here. That's why these girls are getting flown out.
Yeah, I hear you. I might have to do it for myself. I don't know. Here's a new concept. I might have to work it out myself. Balls to the knees or one of many. Go ahead.
I'll take the
I
Viagra.
think that's the way Yumi should say it. Balls to the knees, one of many.
Balls to the knees.
The balls, gravity.
Balls to the knees.
Balls to the knees, I just got that.
Balls to the knee or one of many?
Balls to the knees.
He's so old, his balls hit the knee.
To the knees.
His balls.
That's the one
Ball
taking
is
the
hanging, yes.
He's so old, his balls. Those are my 2 options? I don't know.
Guy right there.
Okay, so. Damn.
Those are the 2 options. I'm going to have to go to school for myself.
I'm gonna take option C,
Big
the
facts.
bum with the big dick. I just have to take that, and we just gonna have to. I'm gonna just have to be the girl with the money, and we never gonna go out. I'm gonna just see you at 11 o'clock at
Big
my house.
facts.
That's it. I don't need to go nowhere. I'll go by myself. I can't do balls to the knees. That's hard. That's.
Balls to the knees.
7 years old with a 20-year-old.
Yeah, but that's hard for me.
Balls to the knees is hard.
For me, that's hard. And then one of many is like, damn, I'm gonna have a hard time because I want attention. Like I crave the attention. Like I want somebody to give me attention. So I'm gonna just have to go with the guy that has no job, that needs $20 for gas to get to my house. I'm gonna have to do that, and then I'm gonna just have to. I'm gonna just have to do that, and you could just come to my house. You could leave right after.
Right, like I'm gonna have to go with Lonnie on this one because I'm gonna have to pick option C.
Dude, you can come
respectfully.
11 to 3. 11 to 3.
I don't stand.
3 times a week. You come, we do our thing, and then you go back home to your mother's house.
BTW, if you're like 22 and you want to be one of many, do you?
Do you?
Right, cool.
No. No judgment. No judgment over here.
Hashtag no judgment.
I don't judge.
However,
I don't judge the balls of the knees either. If you like that.
Yeah.
Listen,
no judgment.
These girls be getting it in, yo. These
However,
old men.
I'm very sensitive to texture, so for that I'm out.
I'm out.
Wow, that's ageism right there.
I said I'm very sensitive to texture.
No ageism.
No, I'm very sensitive to texture.
That's not perfect. Personal preference.
Do you?
No ageism.
Go for it. Enjoy it.
But Yumi, what
like
would you
it?
take?
I love it.
Yumi, what would you take?
I would take option C. I would have to do it myself.
That's D.
I don't know about no bum in the streets. I would have to do it myself.
By the way, there's got to be in between.
There's got to be.
I'm saying it just all
plenty
comes
of 9 to 5s out there.
No, exactly. I would take a 9 to 5. Yeah, a 9 to 5.
Plenty of 9 to 5. No, 9 to 5ers.
9 to 5
Like, I think like you glamorize the two options, but real
really,
talk.
it should be 3 options.
No, of course it's 3 options. There's more than 3 options.
There's more
than
9
to 5. A 9 to 5 guy.
Okay, whether he's a plumber, an electrician, somebody who's working 9 to 5, whatever. Whatever, minimum wage. He doesn't. Lonnie said she'll take a street dude. Like,
no, that's just
I know, but it ain't got to be that extreme. It's a spectrum.
It's not a street. He live with his mother.
Wow.
He's not in the street. He live with his mother.
There has to be a median. There has to be someone in the middle.
There's that mean and a medium. So there's
by the way, 90% are in the middle. So
So let's go back to this conversation. Right? Wait. We'll summarize after this, but Marie, you got a 9 to 5. You're already, you're in a different, like let's say bracket, and now you bring this person that is here and is not necessarily here. How do you make that work?
What do you mean?
How do you make it work? Because it's like we just had a conversation, right? You dating within your lane, right? Dating in your lane.
Right.
So you're used to a certain lifestyle. Like Jada said that, you know, if she gets flown out, if her partner is not able to do that for her, is that relationship going to work? If your 9 to 5er is like not able to take you places, take you on vacation, because now
I think
we're
like
both working.
No, I think like essentially, what are your priorities, right? I think that's what comes into play. And I think it's all about where you are in your life. I think when you're young and you're having a good time, your priorities is to have a good time. So that's your priority. And as you become older, if you want to get married, if you want to settle down, if you want to have children, your priorities change. So you're like, how do I make it work? You're willing to not settle, but however compromise.
With a 9 to 5.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5. Like, can we? I think we've glamorized.
A lot of people really judge the 9 to 5.
Okay, can we talk about like social media isn't real life? Okay, for 5 seconds. Like the majority of us out here are going to work. We're going to work 9 to 5. We're making a living.
First of all, a lot of these people,
I think we done
influencers that's having like 1,000 million followers. They have a 9 to 5.
Whether they do or they don't, but because perception is reality. And that's what happens, right? So when you're talking about 9 to 5, what are we talking about? We're talking about someone who wakes up, and whether they go to work at 9 to 5 or they work 10 to 6 or they work to 11 to 7, what they are W-2 employees. So when we're talking about 9 to 5 is that we're talking about that you wake up in the morning, you're able to wake up with your family, you're able to drop your kids off at school, you're able to do your work during the day. And yes, maybe your kids might get home before you, but you're able to make it home for dinner, put the kids to bed, right? And the truth is that's most of America. That's most of the world. I think what happened is social media glamorized this idea of that everybody can be a basketball player. Everybody
could be a superstar.
Everybody can be a superstar. And that's not reality. I think what we do, especially in our community, is we glamorize things. That's not the reality. Most of us are working 9 to 5s. And that's just the reality. And there's nothing wrong with you dating a man with a 9 to 5.
So let's just bring it back to like just summarize everything. So basically, we were saying it just depends on your personal preference. Okay? You want a man that works 9 to 5? Great. You want a basketball player that's going to fly you out every weekend? Great. You want an older man that's going to fly you out every other weekend?
You ain't getting it. Hold up. Speak on it. You ain't getting it.
It doesn't mean it, but that's your preference. You're entitled to that preference.
You're going to have that preference in the dark. You ain't getting it.
You're going to have a hard time finding it, but you can have it. It's whatever you want. So you want
in your mind.
In your mind.
You want to
join us in the real world.
You want to be in rotation. You want to have several partners. It is all up to you and what works for you, your lifestyle, your relationship, whatever it is. So it just, we're not judging. We just want to let you know that it's whatever works for you. Right. This is what it's about. What works for me doesn't work for you. What works for Marie doesn't work for me. Or, it's just all depends. So
make sure you're not the last one at the party, though. Don't be the last one to get the memo.
Finish talking about the episode.
Don't be the last to get the memo.
All right, we're wrapping up, guys. Our discussion on the episode on It at the Table. Do we quit too early in a relationship?
All right, guys, it was awesome. We enjoyed ourselves. We're wrapping it up on the 8 at the Table episode. Do we quit too early in our relationships? I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in. It's going to be a good time.
Every Thursday on YouTube, 8 at the Table.
Big no judgment zone.
Yes. Big checks, no X, great sex.